Okay, so we're here with Brendan Davison from Kansas City, Democratic Socialists of America. First and foremost, why did you make such a long trip?
Well, I wanted to see how how an actual labor party, and an actual progressive party like the NDP actually works. This is something that Americans really need, and I thought it would be a worthwhile mission to come up and see how such a party would really work if we had it here from our neighbors to the north, and also to help learn more from the members of the NDP and from leaders in the NDP here about what we can do in the United States now that DSA has grown so much in the last year, what we can do with it going forward, and also see if I could, if they could learn anything from me too.
DSA has some really nice roots in the labor movement in the United States, but it's a very different environment for organized labor in the States compared to Canada. We still have a pretty big labor movement, and in the States it's been quite decimated. DSA, how do they see their role? How do you see Kansas City's DSA's role in reinvigorating the labor movement?
That's actually one of, at the last convention, which I did not attend, but one of our national priorities that we adopted at that was to reinvigorate the American labor movement and help encouraging that. And in Kansas City, this is where we regain our labor subcommittee working again. It took a little hiatus. But we are working to get more people involved in union struggles and solidarity actions with them. We've had quite a few strikes in the Kansas City area. Very recently, not far from where I live, we had some Teamster drivers who work for Cisco went on strike just before Thanksgiving. Then, of course, there's also the ongoing Fight for 15 with the fast food workers in Kansas City, which we are looking like we're on the verge of winning. And of course, then there is the right to work law that they're trying to pass in Missouri, but we luckily got that on the ballot through a petitioning campaign, and now we're going to campaign to make sure that it is rejected by the voters at the polls on Election Day.
Yeah. One of the statistics that I found really memorable from the 2016 election was a Harvard study, which was published in the Washington Post. People from 18 to 29, 51% against capitalism. As a socialist organization, how are you guys taking the energy and the hunger for socialist ideas in young people and trying to do outreach, bring them into education, and just grow?
Well, thankfully, a lot of them have come to us. Our membership has quadrupled in the last year, and our average age went down from, I believe it was somewhere in the 60s, mid to late 60s, down to the 30s. So we've had a large influx of young people. I joined before that wave. I joined about 3 years ago, and this wave of young people has mostly joined in the last year. But a lot of people are joining because they are drawn to those ideals. But then also a lot of it has to do with education and outreach. I'm a college student myself, and on the college campus I see a lot of interest in these ideas, but then also a lot of just general apathy towards any action on it. So that is a real challenge that I'm trying to understand more, is how to bring those people in to act on them. They know capitalism is not working. They know that we need something new, but they are just not sure how to act. And so it's a struggle to try and figure out how to make them, how to bring them in and make them act on what they know.
One of the interesting links that we've seen here in Canada in Ontario with our 15 and fairness struggle is the way that it's integrated non-unionized fast food workers and service workers and retail workers with the labor movement. Do you see this, the germ of this happening?
Absolutely, when I go to Fight for 15 marches, and several of them before, you see people from the SEIU, you see people from the United Auto Workers, because there are several auto factories in the area, including one that's not far from my college in Claycomo, Missouri. And they send people down to march with that, and also the Teamsters as well. They also come out, and the IBEW too. They all show up, and they have branded signs and their banners and everything just to stand in support, because without that, the workers need to work together in order to organize collectively. And also we see it going the other way. There was a strike at I can't remember the name of the company, at a factory also in the Northland of Kansas City last year, about a year ago now actually. In the Fight for 15, the group Stand Up KC, the Fight for 15 group, actually came up to support those striking workers, even though they weren't directly related struggles. So we saw non-unionized fast food workers with the Fight for 15 going out to support striking unionized workers with the UAW at this factory, and then we also see the UAW coming down to support them. So there's a lot of solidarity that we're seeing, and that is an absolutely beautiful thing.